Hey guys, welcome back to Likewise Pod. I'm Issa.
And I'm Sam, and we're so excited for another episode this week. It is officially March, the month of madness. And although we are excited for March Madness, college basketball, if you don't know, we are also more excited for Likewise March Madness because that's our theme for content for March 2024. If you didn't see our Instagram post, we are starting monthly content themes. And so then you guys are also getting our full episode schedule with episode titles and topics and things before the month starts, which is really exciting because before it was kind of ooh, you find out when you find out. And now we're kind of really hyping it up and making it this big thing, and all of our content kind of is centered around it, which is really exciting and helps us guide what we're doing more. We just feel really professional, honestly.
Yeah, no, for real. Like when Sam came up with this idea, she's like, I don't know, should we do this? Well, she wasn't that timid about it, but obviously we were going to do it, but then she's just asking my opinion to be nice. I was like, oh my gosh, yes, of course we should do this. It's so much fun. And we only have through May planned, so maybe we just have these 3 months of monthly themes and we're like, we can't do this anymore, and then we go back to figuring it out every week.
Right.
But no, I'm really excited about this, and I think it's so much fun. Yes, we love keeping secrets, but we also love spilling secrets. So I guess this is kind of best of both worlds for us, in the sense that we get to share what we're going to be talking about, but we're not saying exactly what we're talking about.
Right. There's still a lot of secrets. When I posted the episode schedule, I was like, I bet so many people are like, what does this mean? What are they going to talk about in that? So I'm excited.
Yeah. And honestly, this one we've been so excited for. Likewise Pod is toxic. And also the last episode of the month, Likewise Pod is canceled. Awkward.
There's a big storm coming.
Yeah, we've been so excited for these ones for a while now. But if you saw the schedule, you'll also know that we have a guest coming on this month, which we're so excited for because she's a friend from college, from our sorority, and she's so involved with sports and college baseball teams, and oh my gosh, I'm so stoked for that one.
Same. I was actually just looking through my notes on my phone. I was looking for something specific, and I found a note from when we first started Outcast, and it was a shared note that was Outcast potential guests, and we were making a list of everybody we wanted to potentially reach out to come on our sports podcast, and one of them was Meg, and I thought that was so funny because I'm that was so long ago that we wrote that out, and now here we are, and we are doing that guest episode we wanted so long ago, but now for Likewise instead. So
yes. Oh my gosh. I mean, I guess we should have saved Outcast talk for Likewise Pod is canceled. But
right.
in my memories, either yesterday or today, we put out our big announcement on Likewise a year ago.
That's so funny.
And that episode has so many plays. Maybe because it's only 30 minutes. Or maybe because it was really, really good and everyone told their friends. I don't know. But I think that's so funny that it
of all
got
the
a lot of
episodes.
traction. No, literally. And then here we are a year later. We've got Likewise, but we don't have Outcast.
Oops.
Awkward. Anyways. So before we get into our actual toxic talk, Sam, tell us your roses and thorns for the week.
My thorn just makes me so sad. And I know I mentioned in a couple episodes recently that I have been in a reading slump, but when I tell you that it's so bad, I literally cannot pay attention to even an audiobook. I thought I was doing so good because I'm more than halfway through this audiobook, and it's a great audiobook. It's Every Summer After, and it's very engaging, but I simply I've put it on while I'm at work, and even if I'm not doing a lot, I somehow pick up my phone and start watching Instagram reels with no volume and don't pay attention to the book. So I decided if I want to listen to that, I need to restart it. And yeah, so my reading slump is just not good. And then my rose is that last night I called with my mom, which we don't do like super often. And we just video chatted for a while. It was very nice. And yeah, also just still planning all kinds of trips and things. And so many artists I love have been putting out their tour dates. And I just have the concert itch so bad. Like Casey Musgraves just put out hers. Young the Giant is touring with Cage the Elephant this summer and fall. Like there's just so many good ones that are coming out like right now. And I'm like, this is so soon for like this summer and fall. So yeah, that's been kind of fun. But Issa, what are yours?
Oh my gosh, no, that's so fun. My thorn is low key in a reading slump too, and like I'm actually like, it's so funny to say, but like I didn't actually see it coming. Like I was like, oh my gosh, no, I'm doing so good. Like I've read or listened to, because I've actually listened to 3 audiobooks this year, guys. If you know me, you know that I cannot do like audio only. Like I have to like actually visually see things, but audiobooks, they're kind of good. And so like the first 2 I listened to, I was like, they're fine. Like the books aren't as good as I thought they were gonna be. So I was like, maybe it's because I didn't actually read them. But then I just listened to The Midnight Library by Matt Haig, don't know. And it was really, really, really good. So I don't know, maybe the books just weren't as good as I was expecting them to be, and that's why I only give them 4 stars. But yeah, so audiobooks, game changer. Do that. But also, yeah, low-key reading slump, because I don't know, I just feel like I've been reading so much. Like, it all started with my 10 Before the End in December, and me having to read so many books in like 3 days.
Bad slump.
And then like I've already read 13 books this year. I'm like, wow, that's wild. And now I'm like, shoot, it's the last day of February, and I wanted to read one more book. I really want to read Air of Fire in February, but like I can't do it. I'm still on the first chapter. I live off love. But my rose, other than that, life's pretty good. Like Sounders are starting up again. Yay. I'm so excited for match days. So many like bookish things are happening too. Like so many bookish events that like are so exciting. Concert, like lineups, festivals, yeah. Artists are releasing their tour schedules, all the things, so much fun. And like our indie author friends, they're all releasing like so much fun information. Oh my gosh, like Tessa's little book 2 and 3 teaser that she posted.
Yes, I was like, suddenly I have so many questions about book 3. Yeah.
Yeah. No, same. I'm like, honestly, I don't know what any of this means, but I'm just gonna pretend, and it's okay. And then who else? There's just been so. Oh my gosh, Holly releasing book 2 in June.
Hello,
Miss Girl. Hello. Like, I mean, yes, please. Thank you very much. Oh my gosh, Sierra giving us the title,
oh my gosh,
a song, and just like giving us so much information about her work in progress. I'm obsessed, and it's fake dating. Issa's fave.
I literally thought I was like reading things wrong when it was just like, here's the title, and I was like, what?
Yeah.
Hello. Also, like if you guys don't know much about us, I work in fashion, and so I'm just like, I'm so excited. I've been like wanting so badly to read a book where like a character like kind of somehow works in fashion. So, you know, being a model and all that stuff is like fun. So, yeah. Oh, also, wait, Issa, I don't know how I didn't tell you this. I kind of have a secret. So Sierra actually sent me her blurb.
Wait, what?
Yeah, like the blurb before the book. No, oh my gosh, I cannot believe I did not send this to you. I should go find it. Okay, wait, I'll read it to you. I forgot to send it to you.
Wait, for model behavior?
Yeah.
Oh.
Like, I'm not kidding. Like, I do not know who else has actually seen this. Like, honestly, who knows? I think maybe just me and editor Lauren, so that's tea. I love having secrets. It says, Serena McPherson's mind races faster than the camera shutters as her photo gets taken. Flashing lights and magazine spreads are her life. Liam Richter has smoother skills on ice than off it, and he'd rather avoid the limelight at all costs. When Liam gets talked into doing a photo shoot to announce his new residency as hockey captain, he leans into Serena's help on set, literally. Their on-camera chemistry has rumors flying about them. Surely there has to be something real about it. Oh my god.
Oh my god. Oh my gosh. Wait, this is so exciting.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that has me even more excited about this.
No.
What the heck?
Yes. And so I like told her, I was like, oh my gosh, literally stop it right now. I have butterflies and like you've done it again. Because I do not know how she just like keeps doing this over and over again. Like she's just like nailing it. And so then she said, I'm obsessed with them.
You saw my jaw drop the whole time.
No, yeah, actually, that was my secondary thought. Besides having butterflies, I almost said, like, jaw dropped. But, you know, I thought, you know, I did have butterflies, so I had to say it. But she said, I'm obsessed with them, honestly. And so I said, I just barely met them and I'm obsessed.
Oh my gosh, that's so fun. Oh my gosh,
I'm actually living in my head.
So much fun author stuff is happening. I'm literally so excited. Okay, can like literally all of our author friends release more books this year? Like, hello.
Right.
I'm actually waiting.
Oh my gosh, and I don't know if you read it, but like Tessa sent her blurb to her street team, and I was like, oh, slay.
Yes, I did. Oh, so excited.
You guys don't even, oh my gosh. Like, everybody's gonna be so excited when she posts it. Like, pure shock.
No, literally. I'm so excited to meet. I guess, like, we've already met Isabel, but, like, I'm excited to get to know her.
Be in her brain a little bit more. Love that.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, Tessa's episode of Author's Best Friend was so good. That was another rose from this week.
Ooh. Okay, I'm so fake and haven't listened to it.
Oops.
I'm so fake and just haven't listened to podcasts, except I was catching up on It's Nap Time this week, so I'm all caught up there. No, I have one more. No, I do have one more. Frick. But I'm catching up slowly, maybe surely, but for sure slowly.
Yeah. Love that, though. Pod era. Okay. Likewise, pod is toxic.
Yeah, this has already been such a chaotic episode. What a mad episode.
Well, I don't think there's a better way to start off this episode than... Okay, wait. Well, actually, first, I will say this is more about... We're not talking through, like, all the ways that we personally are toxic. It's just, you know, fun little...
Yeah, that's up to
fun title. Yeah, your interpretation there. But we did just, like, want to talk about, like, toxicity in general. This all came from like Issa randomly bringing up to me like just like a random situation where she was like, I've been hating recently like seeing people call things toxic that aren't, or like I saw this thing and somebody said this and I just really don't think that's toxic. And so we were like, oh wait, that's like kind of good. And so that's why it's been on our episode notes for so long. And no better time months, and now we get to finally do it, which is so exciting. So yeah, we were like, wait, where do we even start? But I do think we have to start with just like defining toxic, like what makes something toxic.
Yeah, like when I think of toxic, I think of something that is, you know, not good for you, but not just not good for you, but like hazardous material, like hazardous waste, biochemical, like that kind of stuff. That, you know, like the little yellow triangle with the exclamation point in there. Yeah, like that kind of stuff. Not just, I didn't like that they didn't give me a napkin with my smoothie. Toxic.
Right. Same. It always reminds me of like the like poison control like warning labels that were on things. Like I don't know how many other people grew up and saw like the stickers that like parents or whoever would put on certain things. Like sometimes it was like a medicine or like cleaning products that had like the oh my gosh, like the little like green smiley face thing. I mean, not smiling because it was like "Ooh, this
Dead.
is gonna make you sick," kind of thing, if you consume it. But it always just reminds me of that for some reason.
Yeah, or like the little packets of whatever in like some like in beef jerky or something.
Right.
I don't know. Like keeping it fresh or I honestly don't even know what it does, but all I know is that whatever's in there they say do not eat toxic. I'm like maybe I shouldn't.
Right. Which, like, obviously all of these things are toxic in a very, like, literal physical sense of the way that it's like it's quite literally saying like this will have a terrible effect on your body, you will have a reaction to this if you consume it, touch it, like mold or
Mm-hmm.
something, like inhale it too much, all that stuff. And so it's really interesting when a lot of different things can share the same word or concept, I guess, like then toxic being brought into more of like a mental
Mm-hmm.
context. It's like very, it becomes, I guess, like for us right now, like we're like we see it as very debatable, because there is not very good just like definitions or examples of truly what something means to be toxic in a more like figurative way and not something so physical. Um, so, yeah. So I looked it up. I was like, I need to see what the dictionary says. And the very first definition, you guessed it, was one word: poisonous. Awesome. Um, but then the second one was like a little more what we're looking for, and said very harmful or unpleasant in a pervasive or insidious way. So like obviously like that puts in that like more mm, like intention, like peace, um, or like more of like a dark matter there.
Yeah, so again, something that's like more than just, oh, I didn't like that. It's like a, no, I felt it in my gut, like actual disgusted, terrible, feeling awful, have the gross sweats
Right.
feeling.
Right.
And if
Like
it's mental, you have the gross sweats mentally, emotionally.
mm-hmm. Oh, another one I thought was so funny when I was like looking. I saw like this WebMD page that said was like defining what a toxic person is. And it said a toxic person is anyone whose behavior adds negativity and upset to your life, which like in my
Oh my
opinion,
gosh.
I thought that was such a bland definition because it takes away the side of like cuz the reality of what makes something toxic is not like someone's behavior just being negative or upsetting you. It's it comes from then its effect on you. Like it becomes toxic when it's like having these intense negative effects on you. Like you're having more anxiety or like you're constantly stressed about it or like actually then having physical reactions like maybe you're like getting really nauseous or you're getting migraines or like all this stuff because of how stressed and anxious you are over these things that are happening. Um, so I just thought it was so funny that's like a toxic person is someone who has like negative behavior and upsets your life. Okay, yes, but that's not necessarily the full extent.
Yeah, and like I think just with it being like that, oh, just adds negativity and upset to your life. Like that's not necessarily, I mean, the way I interpret it, it's like that could be like the definition of Issa to some people. Like I am I'm a realist with like a pessimistic lens on life, and so obviously I kind of am very negative. Live, laugh, love. Sorry, and I probably do a lot of things that upset people. But you know what? Everyone literally does that every single day of their lives. So by this definition, every single person is toxic.
Right. No, exactly.
And so like I think there needs to be yeah, it is a bland definition. Like there needs to be more depth to it. It's not just, oh, it's just someone who adds negativity or upset. Like no, it's someone who's like actually bad for your mental, emotional, physical well-being. It's someone who like pushes you instead of being your best self, like pushes you to be your worst self, or like you're only awful when you're with them. You're only like making terrible decisions when you're with them. You're only, you know, whatever when you're with them.
Right. And I will say I do think somebody being in like a toxic situation, engaging in more toxic behaviors, or finding themselves in the very popular phrase of a toxic relationship, I do think like within all these different bubbles, that doesn't necessarily make somebody a toxic person. Or like you can say like, I think we've all been there, or one day will be there, when we find ourselves in a situation where we like maybe fed into some toxicity and like engaged in some toxic behavior within, it's how the cookie crumbles. I think like everybody has either been there or will be there, or has the potential to be there. It really is like situational about like the people you surround yourself with, the people you meet, become friends with, get in relationships with over time, your relationship with various family members. Like it's really easy and bound to happen. So I also don't think that like a toxic person is not permanently a toxic person either. Obviously there's grace, there's forgiveness, and growth. So it's complicated.
Yeah. Sam, you said it so well. Definitely. Like, I don't have anything to add there. Like,
right. Episode's over. That's it.
Yeah, we're done, actually. Good talk. 20 minutes in.
That's funny. But yeah, so I do think, like, it's really easy for us to just, like, call things toxic, or, like, see what maybe someone was involved with in their past and just be like, don't be involved with them, they're a toxic person. Or like my ex-best friend, they're such a toxic person. Well, are they a toxic person, or was your friendship together toxic? And now that you're separate, you know that these are things that could happen in your future friendships, but you worked on yourself and grew as a person to where like you're not doing those same toxic behaviors and patterns in your current relationships. Not me saying the most profound thing in the dog barking. That's so funny.
No, I know. I was like, is she gonna keep talking?
I know. I was like, I'm gonna stop. Hopefully, my audio like didn't, get wild with that.
Oh well. Actually, Sam, that's very toxic of you.
So toxic of me.
Yeah. I honestly, I hate it when people say toxic. Like, and you know what? Like that's, like, sorry. Just so many things. I just feel so passionate about the words that people say, because we give so much power to so many things that we say, and we don't even know what they actually mean. Like, we as a society are so quick to say like, oh, that's toxic, or oh, I hate that. Like, no, do you actually hate that? But then we're so like slow to being like actually saying, oh, I love you, or oh, I love that. I mean, we say, oh, love that, just so casually, like I feel like there's some words, there's some phrases, some things that we give so much power to, but then others, like, oh, I hate that, or I love that, we've taken the power from them, because those are such deep and like emotional things that we don't actually think twice about when we say them. Like I say, oh my gosh, I love that, oh my gosh, I hate that, all the time, without thinking about it, when really, no, I just really like this, or no, I just really dislike this.
Right.
And I think it's so interesting. I don't know. Sorry, I don't know where I was going with that. But I just
it's very
love.
It's very true of toxic. I feel like what you're saying is like it's almost like we somehow decided to use toxic so much and overuse it and use it as like a reaction to some very light things, where toxic is a very powerful word. It's almost like, okay, if you're watching this season of The Bachelor, like when, like the first time that Maria, she was not called a bully, but like in the very beginning of the drama, when Medina said that she had felt bullied by just the drama situation in the house, I was talking about like the effect it was having on her, and then it spiraled in the whole thing of like, it's actually, I felt very hurt by the fact that he could now perceive me as a bully, or like now that people are calling me a bully. It's kind of like words like that, where it's like, oh, we use them lightly, but then like oh, people actually do have very deep connections to these things, which, like, also, I'm not saying that, like, we are fully responsible for everybody's, like, past and the things that they won't take lightly or something. It's obviously, like, not your job to know everybody's history of their entire life. But it is, like, I feel like we have a responsibility to, like, respect when people tell us what something means to them or talk about their past. So with toxic, it's really interesting because it's like, oh, I could just be like, wow, that was so toxic or whatever, to like some random little situation, and then I'm like, oh, is that insensitive to people who have like have gone through abusive relationships? Or it's like the things where it's like slow, like we're quick to recognize like little red flags and things as like toxic behaviors and energy, but we're slow to call out like real deeply toxic things. Like you're maybe slow to like help your friend see and point out that maybe some of their controlling boyfriend's behavior is toxic. Like you're like, oh, that's so cute, he's so protective of you, because maybe you're not getting the full truth, or like you see little things but like you overlook it because you're like, wow, male protective energy, that's so amazing, love that for you. But then like you're only calling like one tiny little thing toxic, but like you never, I don't know, I don't know where I'm going with it, but it's just kind of like, oh, we're calling these little things toxic, but we're like slow to point out the really, honestly, more problematic toxic things.
Yeah. I think like even people, I mean, us as two people who do not like confrontation, lol. I think even people who do love confrontation, like I feel like we again as a society are just so hesitant to actually call things what they are.
Yeah.
You know? Like we so yeah, this like you're saying, like the small things we're like, oh, that's so toxic. Oh, that's so whatever. Hate that. Love that. But then the big things like, oh, that's so cute. Oh, well, maybe it's a little much like sometimes, but usually it's fine. You know? And it's like, no, actually, what if we flip the script? What if we actually like just call things what they are? Like we say it how we see it.
Right. No, it's
And again,
so true.
like I've got big issues with that. Like I hate honest okay, I dislike, sorry guys. I dislike controversy and confrontation, positive or negative confrontation stresses me out, all the things, but it's something that like I need to work on. It's something that like happens in life, so it's something that I need to deal with and get used to because again, that's life.
No, I agree. I'm very similar. Like, I'm very conflict avoidant, which I, being self aware, it's a great step to, like, helping yourself not fall into, like, I don't know, toxic patterns and, like, things. But, it's like, there's easily things that, like, ooh, I did not know how I didn't think about this at all. We don't have to talk about this much, but, like, things that behaviors of your own that you like write off as being like you justify you doing it, but you look at anybody else doing it as like toxic. Like maybe like my bad things that like my bad habits in relationships and things that come from me being so conflict avoidant. I'm like, oh, me shutting down isn't toxic. It's like me not knowing how to do this, or it's just my fear of like my like this not being seen, or like my fear of my words being used against me, or like all these things. Like I could just be like, it's not toxic of me though to like never talk about these things. But then like I'm watching reality TV and I'm watching the conflict avoidant person shut down and the super like conflict comfortable person like rip them apart, and I'm like, you go or something, and I'm like, wait, hello. That would be me. Like I would be the
No,
person
for sure.
shutting down and maybe saying things that then the whole internet is running with and saying they're being so toxic, they're suspicious, they're hiding stuff, like all of that. But really it's like there's more to it. So it's just so funny that I'm like, ooh, we overlook our things, but then call them toxic when, like, we see other people doing it.
Oh my gosh, Sam, that's such a good point. Like, I mean, even small things too. Like clicking your pen. You know, it's only okay when I do it. When other people do it, it's annoying.
Right.
Like, obviously, yes. But like,
or like gossip.
I mean, again, small example. Oh my gosh. Yeah. No, that's one that I'm so guilty of. Like, I gossip so much, and I really try not to. It's so bad, but I do it so much. I'm like, no, I'm not gossiping. I'm just like informing people of what's going on.
Or like, I'm venting.
Or, like,
I'm doing this.
Yeah. Or like, it's just tea. It's not gossip. It's like,
no. This can be a whole other topic sometime, but I've been really interested in this just in general recently. But there's this whole conversation around like how problematic it is that like therapy talk is getting normalized, and it's like it's similar to this where like you're not seeing your things as toxic, but like you're maybe coming up with these other words to justify your actions that like deep down maybe you know are toxic, but you're calling it something else. So like like people just leaning like way too far into the whole like protecting your peace thing, or oh my, it's just my this, or like I don't know, there's all those things, or I forget, there's some really good examples, but there's really good podcasts about it that I've listened to, and like TikToks, honestly, like go into TikTok and look up like therapy talk normalized or something, and you can probably find what I'm talking about. But it's really interesting. It's really interesting because it's like, oh yeah, we kind of do this. Like we have all started learning these terms, and then we overuse it to the point where we're using it incorrectly. Like how much like gaslighting is used wrong on the internet. Oh my gosh, and the internet is where it gets overused, like in TikTok comments, all that stuff. But I do think that's kind of our point too, is like toxic is overused because we got so comfortable with like, we all learned, yay, we all know toxic now. Okay, well now we're going to start applying it to all these things that maybe aren't actually toxic, but we're just so comfortable using this language now and calling things out that now we're like doing it to everything.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. And when you were saying that, I was just thinking about myself, and I can get a little aggressive when I'm talking about anything, and then I'll be like, so sorry that came out aggressively. It's just my passion.
It's just my passion.
I'm like, oh no. And so you know what? That is something that I actually have been working on. Hasn't worked. Haven't gone very far, but anyways, something that Sam wrote down that I really, really liked, and I mean, she's already said it, but sorry, I don't know why there was such a big pause there. I'm literally just
the millennial pause.
But not every red flag is a poison warning label, and in the same way, likewise, LOL, some things are toxic and shouldn't be swept under the rug, you know. And so again, we're like, again, just a revolving door at this point. Like, we are so quick to say, oh my gosh, that's toxic, when it's really not, when something really just is not toxic and it's just the first word that comes to mind. I feel like with the overuse of toxic or overuse of hate or love or gaslighting or, you know, fill in the blank, like they've just become filler words at this point. They're just a word filling in the gap in the sentence, and it's the first thing that comes to mind. So instead of actually being correct in what we're saying, we're just saying whatever and hoping that it's right. And even if it's wrong and someone calls us out on it, we're gonna say that's toxic of you to say.
That's funny. Yeah, no, it's so true. But yeah, I do think that like really wraps up everything we were trying to say, just like about generally what we think about like the overuse of it, and just kind of how we see that. It was so funny when I wrote that. I was like, wow, I ate. Like when I was like, not every red flag is a poison warning label. I was like, that's so deep.
When she's a poet and she's coming out with a book in April, a poetry book.
Right.
Oh my gosh.
No way. Um,
Eyes of ice, heart of fire. Is that ice or fire, Sam? I don't know. It sounds kind of fire to
oh,
me.
it does sound kind of fire. Yeah, I should just add that to the book right now. Um, but something we want to talk about more with toxic is obviously we're thinking about, okay, yeah, it's annoying that it's so overused, but then we're not actually talking about the things that really deeply are toxic. Okay, is there a flip side to this? Like, what are the things that we think are being looked over that are actually toxic, or just like, I guess, being romanticized? Um, and like that's why they're not really being talked about as toxic. Um, so the first one for me, um, I see this a lot in my like daily life, honestly, um, because I do think that this one's like I'm talking about diet culture, um, and like more unhealthy diet culture talk, kind of, but it was weird because like you really are what you surround yourself with on like the internet and stuff, and you can so easily get yourself in bubbles where like you think everybody thinks the exact same as you. And so for years, like ever since I graduated and like been on being online mostly, being by myself, whatever, surrounding myself with people who are a lot like me, I thought it was just like so normal that like everybody knew that like unhealthy diet culture was like so bad. And like I was like I thought we all knew that like these things were bad, and like that like if we heard people say certain things we'd be like oof, yikes. um just because, and I think it's because this like the side of the internet I'm on, and like that I the people I follow, all this stuff, like I don't see much of it anymore, so I convinced myself that it's gone. um but then now all of a sudden again in real life, in the last like year and a half, I've come across like way too much positive talk of like unhealthy like dieting habits, and people like bragging about what they're doing and being so positive about it, and like not recognizing like how bad some of the things they are doing are, not only for themselves but like the way you talk about it does matter, especially like because you never know what the people around you, like what their relationship with food is like, what their struggles with dieting are like, or like their health overall. So I do think it's really interesting for some people to like brag about the insanely unhealthy things they're doing, but like from a place of like saying it's so good for you. Oh, so crazy. Hate diet culture.
Yeah, I know. And like in the past, I mean, I mentioned this in my mini a couple weeks ago or a month ago or however long ago. But like in the past couple years, my dad has really gone into like better eating. Well, like learning about better eating and stuff. And so I've learned so much more about all this stuff than I ever could have really cared to. LOL. Sorry, Dad. Love you if you listen. But yeah, I think it's it's also interesting because like every single person is so different, and so yes, while like so many of these rules, or so many of these like things can apply to generally most all people, it's still gonna be different for every person.
Yeah.
And so like ultimately like you're saying, we don't know people's relationship with food. Like looking at me, if you know me, like you probably don't think that I have like I feel like I have a relatively like okay relationship with food, but at the end of the day, like I know it's not the healthiest. I know that it's honestly been really bad, and I feel like people, if you know me, like you wouldn't think that. If you look at me, you're like, she's fine, she's good, she can talk about whatever, and like honestly, I can. Like I don't really care, but then it's when I'm by myself, I'm like, oh, that's awkward. Anyways, beside the point. That doesn't matter. Irrelevant. And so like we don't know people's relationship with food. We don't know what people have dealt with in the past. We don't know like eating disorders. We don't know like anything. And so yes, there's the rule, but then there's also the exception to the rule. And if there's always the exception to the rule, then is there really a rule, And so it's yeah, I kind of similar to you, Sam, like have been like on that side of the internet, like have grown up around that. Like we know, quote, we know signs of like unhealthy diet culture, and so if someone's struggling, you can reach out, or
Right, especially like
someone's
growing
whatever,
up,
you
like
know?
in our generation, being
Mm-hmm.
athletes and things, like
Yeah.
I think in the right settings and environments, you we grew up getting like told more healthy versions of
Yeah.
things, just because
And
but we also probably got to see a lot of the unhealthy side too. But
yeah. And I think like mostly what I see, like the unhealthy parts of it is just for people to, sorry, trigger warning, eating disorders, like people kind of stumble into like anorexia or bulimia, you know, like where they just stop eating instead of changing their diet to be like eating actually good for you foods, like foods that fuel your body, foods that like give you nutrients, because that's the way, like if you want to lose weight, the best way to lose weight is to change your diet. And that's not to just stop eating, but that's to change the foods that you're eating.
right,
And then like exercising, yeah, that's great, but that should also be done as you change what you eat, not just how much you eat, but what you eat is like the biggest thing. And I think like so many people lose sight of that. And so like that's where it gets toxic, is when people like just romanticize it. They're like, no, diet culture, diet means you don't eat as much. No, that's not actually what a diet is. A
right,
diet is changing your eating habits, which can be changing like how often you eat, or can be changing the foods you eat, or both, or neither, or whatever, you know. And it's like, I don't know, it's so convoluted. Like there's so much to it. It's such a complex subject that I definitely have no place speaking in. But it's, yeah,
right.
I agree with you.
It's something, and I think like when we say it, it's something that almost like goes without saying. Like I think anybody like listening to this like knows, like, yeah, we've all seen some really bad things being like romanticized around diet culture in very toxic ways. I think everybody could be like, yeah, I've seen it.
Yeah. Yeah. Hopefully not everyone has dealt with it or has like experience with it, but there's some sort of experience with it if you've just seen it too. So it's like, it makes my heart so sad.
Mm-hmm. Honestly, somewhat related. I don't have much to say about this, but I've been seeing like some posts just calling out like toxic positivity as being a problem. Like people kind of just putting on this like fake overly positive persona to like overcompensate and like sweep under the rug all the like actual more like human experiences. Like I don't want to even just say like negative things happening in your life. um it's almost, I feel like toxic positivity, I just see I think it's honestly something that's like a coping mechanism, but it is, I've been seeing stuff about it getting called out as being toxic. And I mean, it's also not always a coping mechanism, but for a lot of people it is. um but yeah, I saw like one thing about it, one or two things.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, do I think it's real? Yes. Do I think it's overused? Also, yes. It's just, again, with like the use of the word toxic, it's like, okay, is putting on a fake smile, putting on like a fake happy
Right.
persona, just to make it through a night, or because something happened, like you're going through life, so of course things are gonna happen, like you're gonna have your ups and downs, like, but you're hanging out with your friends and you're being quote fake happy, you know, or like toxic positivity and stuff. Like that's different than, no, I'm like, sorry, trigger warning. Oh my gosh, so many trigger warnings. Wow, likewise pod is toxic. Like being like full on depressed and like actual like awful all the time, nothing good is ever happening, and just pretending to be the happiest you've ever been. You know? Like, I mean, I don't
Oh,
know.
like posting a lot of things that like
Mm-hmm.
are really opposite. And like I also think, I didn't realize, I was thinking about it from just like a one person putting it on for themselves, but I think it's also like when someone is so locked in on this whole like only positive all the time type of thing, where like you don't let the people around you experience their real emotions. Like you do not let the people around you go through the motions of their hard times. Like you literally make everybody around you like stick to this
Yeah.
thing too.
Yeah. I feel like, I mean, just being part of Greek life, I feel like we probably saw a lot of that. Maybe not necessarily like you don't let people go through their emotions, but
Oh,
just more
like
of,
recruitment and
yeah, like it's very, I don't want to, I don't want to call it toxic positivity because I don't think it is. But at the same time, like, I don't want to say, oh, no, it's not, because that's just how it is, you know?
yeah.
So here I am being like, oh, let's just call it what it is. But honestly, I don't know what it is. Like recruitment's rough. We all know that. But at the same time, kind of love it. But that's also not to say that you can't love toxic things.
Oh, tea.
Oh my gosh, what do we do now? I mean, recruitment's never going to be easy. Work week's never going to be easy. And like life is also never going to be easy. I mean, maybe hopefully it is, but at the end of the day, people are probably going to be put through the ringer a lot. And so I think on toxic positivity, I think, yes, it's real. Do I think it's overused? Yes. But also, it's different from fake it till you make it.
Right. Exactly. Like, it's not saying that a fake smile here and there is toxic.
Yeah.
Nice. Um, okay, this one can just be fast because it's kind of silly, but also sometimes kind of scary. Revenge. Like, I love Before He Cheats. Great song. Or, like, Get Him Back, Olivia Rodrigo. Like, I love, like, these powerful songs and, like, ideas sometimes of, like, yeah, getting back at someone, getting revenge, all these things. Great in theory. Great in theory and as, like, an empowerment type of thing. Not great in action. Like, sometimes, you know, it's like, because I've just been thinking about how, like, evil blackmail is and, like, other revenge things are that people do just to, like, get back at, like, an ex or an ex-friend or a family member that they don't have a good relationship with. It's so wild to me, and I do think there are certain things, especially with, like, people on the internet encouraging people to do really bad things to get back at someone who, like, wronged them. Like, sometimes a little bit of mess is fun, whatever, but, like, when people, like, straight up want to, like, dox people, post, like, I don't know, like, just reveal deeply personal things, out people, there's so many. Like, there's, like, oh my goodness, it's so scary. I'm all for, like, message the new girlfriend and, like, or, like, tell, like, I don't know, informing someone that they're, like, cheating, or, like, I'm all for those kinds of things, because that's not necessarily, like, revenge. That's just, like, kind of being a good person, and, like, looking out for someone,
Mm-hmm.
and especially if you're involved. But yeah, I don't think you should be encouraging your friends to, like, go do terrible things to someone.
Yeah. Like, here, I'll give a fun little example from today, actually.
Love that.
So one of my friends, she's got a job and in an office, and last week I think she sent a snap to our group, and she's like, guys, someone drank my coffee. Like, it's one of those, like, assigned seats, you know, like, you always, like, in class or in what, I don't know, wherever you sit down, like, in class, like, if you don't have assigned seats, you always sit in the same spot every single class. And then if someone sits in your spots for some reason, then you have to sit in someone else's spot, then that messes up the whole thing, and then everyone's just had a terrible day, right? So she's like, guys, someone drank my coffee. It's like assigned seats. We all have our own coffees that we drink, like K-cups, like for the Keurig or an espresso or whatever. But someone drank mine, and now I'm out. And we're like, oh my gosh, that sucks. I'm so sorry. And so today we get a snap, and she goes, someone did it again. I started drinking another coffee, and it wasn't one that's been drank before. Like, it's just been sitting in a drawer for weeks. So I said, oh, cool, I'll drink this. And someone's drinking that one too. And we're all like, what the heck? And so I said, I said, shoot, don't say her name. So it's not actually that funny, but I think it's so funny. So because this is something that she would do. Anyway. But I said, just drink everyone else's coffee. There's no coffee tomorrow.
That's funny.
And so that kind of revenge, like fun little pranky revenge, like small revenge, fine. Like if you watch New Girl, Winston Bishop prank Sinatra. He either goes way too big or way too small. The way too small revenge, fine. Way too big, not fine. Like big revenge, personally, I think it makes people look so ugly. Like I think that's just ugly.
Right. Are you not afraid of karma?
And okay, well, I don't believe in karma, so no. But
right.
I mean, I get what you're saying.
But like,
but also like,
you know, that's just like,
I mean, but I do believe in comeuppances.
like it's just icky. Like it's like maybe like
Yeah.
in people's heads they think like, no, like me doing this is that person's bad karma for what they did to me. But then it's like, that's not karma. That's just you making a decision to do that.
That's literally free will.
Yeah.
In action. Like, no, you don't have to do that. Like, and I mean, I know people are probably tired of hearing this, and like I've heard it so much lately. I'm like, dang, I thought I was so profound by like hearing this one time and then me telling everyone else about it. But like, forgiveness is not about letting the other person off the hook. Forgiveness is about letting you off the hook. And I feel like revenge is very much like that. Like, do you always want to forgive people? No. Do you always have to? No. Because again, you got free will. You don't have to do whatever you don't want to do. But revenge, like, icky, ugly behavior, like ugly girl, ugly boy behavior. Don't do it. Unless someone drank your coffee, then you drink
all the
everyone
coffee.
else's. And then there's just no coffee for the office tomorrow. No, but actually that would probably be really toxic for you. Like, physically, that would be so bad.
Yeah.
But oh, I forgot what I was saying. I'm sorry, I can't stop thinking about that.
Also, not me being like, this one will be really fast. Like, I love that I keep saying that. And then I'm like, no, I'll find all these examples and keep talking about it.
Yeah, LOL. But basically, revenge. It's fun in shows, fun in music, fun in games,
Love it
or
in
whatever.
games.
But in real life, when you're actually messing with someone's life, that's ugly behavior.
Yeah.
And I stand by that.
Agree.
Okay, so this one might be a little controversial, like actually controversial, but self-care. I think it's gotten to a point that people prioritize, quote, self-care over life and friends and responsibilities, that it goes from self-care to self-destruction or like self-sabotage. Like eating well, not getting into diet culture could, we already got into that more than we needed to. Or like exercising, seeing friends, working, school, etc. Like all these things. If like in school, I heard so many people were like, I can't do this, I just need a self-care day, and then they wouldn't do their homework or like assignments or a project or whatever, and then they'd get a bad grade. And I mean, honestly, I kind of did that too a lot, but like just so many things. And yeah, like not going out with your friends or something every once in a while, that's fine, but then not just your social life sees a decline, but like your mental well-being, because there have been numerous studies that show life is not meant to be like lived alone. Life is all about relationships. So we need to prioritize relationships. We need to prioritize these things. And like, yes, self-care is so important, but it's not supposed to get to a point where that's your excuse for not wanting to do things.
Right. Like it's similar to like the normalizing therapy talk thing, or like any other thing of calling what you're doing something else, or like maybe it is self-care at first, but it can quickly become like a bad habit rather than like a good habit in your routine, and it could get so repetitive and constant that you're calling it self-care, but that's just like an excuse for everything you're avoiding, like it's like, is it really self-care, like, or are you just saying you're gonna do some self-care because you really don't want to do all this other stuff?
No, exactly. And like a couple months ago or a year ago, again, don't know how time works, I was having a conversation with my friend, and I was just saying like how I hadn't really done anything for like 3 days. Like I was literally just like laying in my bed watching shows or something. Maybe it was No, it wasn't when I had COVID. That was more than a year ago. Anyways, but I was just like, I am just not feeling it right now. I can't do this, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, oh, it's okay. Like, you're just taking care of yourself, blah, blah, blah. I was like, no, but it's gotten to a point where, like, I feel so lazy and, like, I need to be doing stuff. And she's like, no, sometimes you just need the rest. You just need a break, blah, blah, blah. Like, that's great. But when it's been days of, like, not doing anything, and I'm a person, like, I love to be on the move. I love to be doing things, experiencing things. Like, I need to be doing something. Like, that's awful. Even a day, I'm like, I feel so unproductive. I feel so useless. I feel like I've done absolutely nothing to contribute to society. What am I doing here? It's not self-care. Like, sorry. Big old rant. But, like, I think it's really gotten to a point where, yeah, Sam, like you're saying, like, people are using it to avoid doing things, avoid their responsibilities, just because they don't want to, or because, like, for whatever reason, then actually this is a detriment to my well-being.
Yeah. Dang, that's a good one. I didn't even think about that. Nice.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, this next kind of, like, topic-ish, kind of fun. Toxic or not, like, these are things that, like, we've seen be talked about, and we're like, people are so dumb. Like, people are so annoying for saying that this is toxic just, like, all the time. Like, shut up. So basically, like, moral of the story is, for these ones, like, context matters.
Yeah.
LOL.
For sure. Like, it really is the context. Like, yeah, situational. So, like, the first one, 3-person friend groups. We all know these are always talked about online as being toxic, or, like, people are like, oh, 3-person friend groups never work out. They're always toxic. Da 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 da. Well,
yeah, or, like, bestie, if you think a 3-person friend group, or if you think your 3-person friend group works, then you're not part of the duo. Like, shut up.
Yeah. If you think about it, this is awkward because every person that becomes a friend of likewise and, like, engages with us, that's a 3-person friend group. Like,
oh my gosh, when you're third wheel. JK.
Right.
It's actually, there are, like, so many times where I'm definitely the third wheel. Okay, guys, it is oftentimes Sam DMing people, and, like, she'll respond to so many, or, like, she'll send so many out, and, like, I don't want to go in there and just, like, take hold of the conversation, but then sometimes I accidentally go in and, like, look at what they're saying, and I'm like, shoot, they can see that I've seen this now, so now I have to jump in, and then I get scared. I'm like, I can't do this anymore. And you know what, maybe anyways, sometimes I am not part of the duo, and that's okay.
Right. Or, like, it just really, the context does matter, because, like, sometimes there is a duo, because sometimes you have 2 pretty best friends who then go on to become friends with a third person that they, like, meet together some other time. Like, anybody me and Issa have met together through the pod. Like, or, like, I don't know, it's just so interesting. Like, I have friends that then now know Issa that have been, like, my friends my whole life or something. Things like that. So I'm like, yes, but I guess it's not necessarily that classic 3-person friend group type of thing. I do think there are some of those things that happen in 3-person friend groups often that, like, yeah, I could say maybe that is toxic in your friendship, and you can and should leave the friendship or something over some of the things that happen. Like, if there's just, like, a lot of, like, mean girl behavior, like, the gossip happening about you without you knowing, like, between the other 2 friends, like, there are things that could be happening that are toxic, but, like, I just sometimes hate the, like, online, like, 3-person friend group hate.
I mean, maybe I'm just, like, a 3-person friend group warrior, because I'm in one, and I just hope I'm not on the outs. But, like, I mean, to be fair, like, everyone goes through, like, different seasons. Every friendship goes through, like, such different seasons, and so, like, obviously you're going to be closer to one person out of the group than you are the other in some contexts. And
right.
in others, you're going to be
closer to the other person. You have different relationships with each person in the friend group. And you do different things with each person.
Yes, exactly. And so, like, one of mine, I mean, the only one I'm in, LOL. Maybe there are more. I don't know. Actually, I have been in kind of a lot in my life.
No, me too.
Oh my gosh, wait, this is
I had a
wild.
toxic
LOL.
3-person friend group in elementary school.
Tea. Oh my gosh, wait, why didn't we tell that story?
I don't know, I didn't think about it, but it was honestly not much happened besides the fact that like I was already best friends with the one person, and then she also became friends with this other girl, but the other girl did not want to be in a 3-person friend group. Like, she wanted my best friend to herself. And so
Oh,
it became this
3-person friend group
constant,
hater.
like, I never did anything like for years, because I was like, I know I don't have to fight for my best friend or whatever, like, we're still gonna be best friends. But like sometimes we'd hang out in a group or like all this stuff, but for years it was the constant like I wasn't necessarily fighting, but like that person was definitely always trying to like, you
Oh
know,
my gosh,
make it so that
that's
we
wild.
couldn't all be friends. So I guess we
Wow.
weren't a 3-person friend group.
That's so funny. But yeah, like I like in college have so many different friends, and like even like my 3-person friend group, low key part of a 5-person friend group. Awkward.
Mm.
I know for sure one of them doesn't listen. And she's like, Issa, I love you guys, but I just can't listen to you guys because it's I feel like I'm intruding your conversation. I'm like, no, that's literally the point, but whatever.
That's
I didn't
funny.
say that, I was just thinking it. And she'll never hear this, so that's fine. But like literally like they live right next to each other. And I live like a 10-15 minute drive away. So it makes sense that they're going to be closer because one, they're closer geographically. Two, they share a lot of very similar interests and stuff. And like that's not to say that I don't share similar interests, but being geographically closer makes life just so much easier. And so like, am I butthurt when they go out without me? No. I mean, do I wish I got an invite? Maybe sometimes. But would I really have gone out? Maybe not. So it's like it doesn't ultimately like I know I'm closer with friend A, like in some situations and contexts, versus her and friend B. And then like I'm closer with friend B, and like we have other inside jokes and like other things to talk about than I do with like friend A or whatever. You know, and it's like it depends.
It depends, and I think it's really hard, but you have to uh almost like, it's obviously very easy to play the comparison game and do all those things. And I think when you're in 3-person friend groups, you do really have to have like a healthy relationship with comparison and like knowing these things. And even if you don't necessarily feel very secure in all of your relationships, but like learning ways to like feel secure in your friendships when you're in those like
Yeah.
multi-person
And
friend groups. And just knowing that like you don't
yeah.
have to have the same relationship with every person in your friend group.
Yes, exactly. And like it's all about being intentional, just like every relationship is. Like you just have to be intentional with it, and like if you're intentional, then everything else will fall into place.
Yes. So true. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited for this next one because it's like low-key what inspired this episode.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. um Friend accountability. Like there's a difference between being mean versus like holding you accountable. And sorry, I'll start just cuz I have like a long thing to say. But I'll try to just read what I wrote. One time I saw a post about being like a girl's girl or being a ride or die, and people were saying like of course I'd help like so and so hide a body, or like I'd get revenge, or I would whatever, like I would never like I'd never snitch, or like I would or like if her ex did her dirty, like I wouldn't tell the new girl, or you know, like whatever, all the things. But then I saw someone else say something like being a ride or die is about holding them accountable and pushing them to be their best self, and not about accommodating and enabling bad behaviors. I was like, oh my gosh, wait, that's so true. Like that's such a good point. Like when you hear people say, oh yeah, you're like, oh, on the challenge, so much so much stuff relates to the challenge. But I mean, they had ride or dies, and so I think that's around the time when I saw this, and like my life not been the same since I saw like that person's comment about that. I was like, oh my gosh, world rocked. But someone was saying like, oh, you're not a girl's girl because she was defending like a guy or something, or she wasn't like just on her side simply because she's a girl or because of whatever. It's like, no, one, context is important. Two, why are we siding with people, or like why are we just saying like, oh yeah, you're right, like unconditionally, when we should just be like again, pushing people to be the best version of themselves that they can be.
Right.
Like, having unconditional love for someone is not always saying, like, oh my gosh, you're right no matter what. Having unconditional love for someone means, no, I'm going to hold you accountable for the things you do, for the things you say, and I'm going to make sure that you're always your best self and that you're not, like, being toxic.
Right. Yes. Love that. I honestly don't have a lot to add. Like, that's just very clear and makes sense. And but yeah, like, that's so true. And I don't think enough people have seen or heard people say that. And more people should know. More people should think this. Yeah, no, I love that. And just like thinking about in general, I kind of talked about this earlier, like saying a person is toxic versus saying that like their actions are, or like me personally in the past in a friendship that I saw as toxic, or like I started describing the person as toxic and what they were doing. But then when after like the friendship breakup, when I grew from it more, now I like to say that like us together, like our friendship was toxic because we both played a part in this friendship, and like the just like the combination of our actions together was what was toxic. Yes, there can always be maybe one person really being like an instigator and the person bringing another person down, but I do think like for me, like I could have so easily just like held so much hate in my heart and been like they were so bad to me and never think for a second about any of the things I did. But now I'm like, no, we were in a toxic friendship, not they were toxic for me and made me toxic or something, you know? So yeah, I just love thinking about that.
No, that's such a good point.
I love that I put that in the toxic or not section. I think what I was saying was toxic or not was whether you should be saying a person is toxic or saying that their actions are toxic. Which I feel like, in my opinion, I feel like we should be saying people's actions and like behaviors are toxic.
Yeah. I like it.
Yes! Oh my goodness, this is such a good long episode, but it has so many juicy good things in it.
Yes. So, finally, on our toxic talk, we're just gonna, I don't know, give a couple points about like how we have avoided toxicity, or like how we plan to, or like, I don't know, just things that we've seen or feel like would work.
Yes. Okay, the first one, setting boundaries. I feel like that one's kind of obvious, but I do think it's important to think about setting boundaries not only with others, but like what are those boundaries you set with yourself. So maybe some of those things are like making sure you don't let your good habits become bad habits, like the whole self-care thing, or like, I don't know why I was thinking about this so much, but it was while you're talking about the ride or die thing. I was thinking about how I've had multiple friends over the last few years go sober, and like obviously your friends are a huge support system when you're doing something like that, for whatever reason, but especially if it's coming from a place of like addiction and not just like wanting to make your lifestyle healthier. Like honestly, you do need to have boundaries with your friends, and like, because I see stuff online sometimes where it's like, oh, that's so insensitive of you to like still drink around your sober friend. Well, what if your sober friend is like, you guys have talked and they're like, I'm totally okay with that, or like, I just don't want it in the house if we live together, or I just don't want like it to be all the time, or like, you know, it's just like there's, or like I still want you to think of options for me if we're like hosting something, like make sure we do something, like have other drink options, like there's just like things like that. I mean, that is a situation where like you obviously can have boundaries, so I think other people shouldn't look too closely at some of those things and just be like, wow, you're such a bad friend, that's toxic that you drink around your sober friend or whatever. Um, but like that's just like something where I'm like, yeah, it's important to have boundaries. Because it can be toxic to do that. Like if your friend has expressed to you that like they're still actively struggling, like they're having a hard time, they maybe they don't know how to ask for help as much, but you know they're really struggling, but you're like ignoring that and not thinking of the ways that you can give them what they need. Maybe that is a little toxic. Or like they've asked you not to and you still keep doing it, or you're trying to
Then that
convince them to
definitely
do it
is.
with you. You're not supporting them, but instead you're like encouraging them to still do it, you
Mm-hmm.
know?
Or
That was
even
what I was
like,
thinking of.
or even if they've like expressed to you that they're not comfortable with that or whatever, and you're just defending yourself and you're just
Yeah.
saying, like, justifying it, saying, no, it's okay because I only have a couple drinks around you, or it's okay because I don't come home drunk, or it's okay because I don't black out. You know, just like coming
Mm-hmm.
up with reasons for your behavior instead of actually taking a look at it and understanding where they're coming from.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah. Okay, the next one is just taking accountability for your own behaviors. And like similar to the ride or dies thing, like yes, you need to hold your friends accountable. Because if you're not holding your friends accountable, especially your best friends, like what kind of friend are you? If
Right.
your friends don't hold you accountable, what kind of friends are they? But in the same way, like you need to take accountability for your actions. You need to take accountability for your words, for like all the things going on. Um, Accountability, responsibility for your own behaviors, super hard. It is never fun to say, I messed up. I'm so sorry. I did this to you, or I'm so sorry you felt this way because of this, or I'm so sorry, whatever. Like, it's never fun. It's always embarrassing. Well, for me at least. It's always embarrassing. It's always a very humbling moment, but those are like such powerful moments that we need in our lives. Like, we do need to be humbled. We are not the best things that's we're not the best thing that's ever walked the earth. We're literally just like everyone else. So um if we want other people to take accountability and responsibility for their own behaviors and words, conversations, then we need to lead by example and do that ourselves.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's so easy to play the blame game. Like, even outside of just like relationships with people, like in friendships or like romantic relationships, but like I think about like work situations and stuff, like it's so easy if people are like, why wasn't this done or something, or like question you about something, and it's so easy to just be like, oh, it's because this other person or this other team is so unorganized, or they didn't send me this on time. But it's like, well, did you reach out to them or press them more and ask for stuff too? Like, there is a little bit of accountability there too. So it's just, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
not playing the blame
Yeah.
game. Like, you can,
And
sometimes you need to, like, you can, but you should also
yeah.
say, I guess I could have also asked, but they did not send me what they were supposed to, and they knew they were supposed to.
Yeah, no, exactly. That's I was also gonna add that point. Like sometimes, yeah, you do have to say, hey, BT Dubs, this person, this team, this whatever, like didn't do what they were supposed to do or what they said they were gonna do, but I also didn't follow up. But
Yeah.
I also didn't do this. However, and sometimes it's again okay to say like, however, like didn't think I had to, but I'll do better in the future.
Right. Exactly. Easy. Not easy, but like great easy like easy explanation
In
or like way
theory,
to do it.
easy.
Yeah. Um Amazing. And the last one, like we said, we're not how-to girls. We got 3 tips. Um the last one is just like learning communication and conflict styles in relationships. Issa and I have both talked about how like we both really, really don't like confrontation, good or bad. And so like knowing that about ourselves, like just how important it is to be self-aware but also aware of the person you're like in a relationship or friendship with, and like knowing their style, because then you know how best to like have conversations with them, like how you need to hold them accountable, because Issa and I, we both don't like conflict, good or bad. So it's like just so funny that we're like, we both don't like conflict, and okay, we know that. So obviously we probably like do communicate very well, or like hold ourselves accountable doing stuff for the podcast very well, because we communicate similarly, because we're never like, being like you didn't do this or whatever, we're both so quick to be like, oh my gosh, I didn't do this.
Yeah.
So it's just
So
so
we
important.
have the opposite problem.
Right, we have the opposite problem. But when you do have like separate things, or like even attachment styles, I guess, like knowing yours and knowing your partner's is important, because it definitely has an impact on things, like especially if like one person's anxious and one person's avoidant, like that's going to clash, and that doesn't mean it's ultimately needs to be toxic or is going to be toxic, but I think you should be aware of those differences in your styles so that you know how to work around them and still support the other person, and not just because like naturally if you don't know about it and don't know about theirs, it's just a simple fact, honestly, in my opinion, that like naturally your communication and behaviors will be not where they need to be.
Agreed.
Yeah. Mike.
No, it's so funny. A couple weeks ago, or last week, or months ago, again, don't know how time works. I was talking with my mom, and I think I told Sam later, but like how I really don't like when people say, if you don't argue with your best friend, are you really friends? Because I'm like,
I don't argue ever.
I genuinely, like, yeah, I have like some arguments like here and there, but I genuinely don't know that Sam and I have ever had like a fight.
Right.
Or like, and like, yeah, I fight with my family, but they're my family. And like, I genuinely can only tell you of maybe 2 or 3 fights I've had with my friends in ever.
Yeah.
I've always been conflict avoidant. LOL. So it's always been something that I've been trying to work on.
Right.
Anyways, maybe I'm the toxic one. Maybe I really am toxic.
I feel like
let us know in the comments.
Like,
no.
We're both just, I don't know, like we're pretty like laid back, but we do have a lot of goals, and so I think we're very aligned on the way that we express what we think. And so like when we disagree on like where we want to take something, it's never like, it doesn't feel like we disagree. It's always that we're both like, we have this idea but like not completely sure. I think this could be cool, but like you let me know, like what do you think is better? Like it's a lot of bouncing things back all the time, rather than like disagreeing on between 2 things. Like,
yeah, that's actually such a good point.
Like we never both want
about
one thing one way.
Yeah, like thinking about it, we're just always in constant communication, which I guess, you know, what, maybe that's the key, constant communication. But like, instead of saying like, oh, I really want to do this, we kind of just give ideas, and maybe we should say, oh, I really want to do this more often. But with some things we have, like Week of Love or Podmas or
right, we just always
like
say idea to everything.
Yeah, no, like literally, it's always just like, wait, I have an idea. What if we do this? And like sometimes, like if the other person likes the idea, then we'll keep talking about it, or we'll like bring it back or like circle back like a week later or whatever. If the other person isn't really feeling it, we don't talk about it again.
It's just like, oh, interesting.
We don't respond to the comment on the Canva or the Google Doc or the
right,
whatever it is. We just kind of ignore it and move past it. And I think we both come to understand that that's when the other person's like, I don't love that.
No, exactly. Like there's just less, I don't know, it's just like we don't offer another idea, or we do offer another idea, or like a way to make it better.
We full on ignore it though. Like we don't say, oh, what about instead of that we do this? We just say, or we could.
But like it's like we both like it that way, or like, you know, because
yeah, it's worked for us this far,
and it's always just funny, because we also know that we're very delusional, and half the time when we have these ideas, we know we don't even like them that much anyways. It's just like, oh cool, look at this thing I saw.
Yeah. No.
How can we do this?
Like, even like small things, like on the Canva, for example, like I'll just drop templates in there, like today or yesterday or whatever. I was like, I put 3
you're like, I don't like
them. Honestly, don't know how much I really like them, but we'll figure something out.
Yeah, I thought that was so funny.
So that's just how life goes. Don't be toxic. Moral of the story
Right.
of the pod, the episode.
And if you are being toxic, reflect, take
Own
accountability
up
for
to
your
it.
behaviors.
Yeah.
And then set some
Exactly.
boundaries.
Ooh, yeah. Yeah. But yeah, that's all we have. So of course we're gonna move into song of the week. So
Yay.
fun. Sam, what's your song of the week?
My song of the week is Edge of the Earth by The Beaches. Honestly, they're my artist of the week, of the month, of
Ooh.
the year so far. Like, I've just been loving them. And this song is kind of like the one of theirs that's like a little more popular right now. Like I just started being on the radio a bunch and all that. But I hear it on the radio at work sometimes. And every time it comes in, I'm just like, I love this song. Like, it just comes in so fun. Yeah, if you know, you know. It's so good.
I love that. Obviously a shout out Toxic by Britney Spears.
Right. How could we not?
But my song of the week is Up, Up and Away by Chance Pena. And guys, I'm not gonna lie. I don't entirely know what the song is about. But it sounds like it could be a feel-good song. But it also sounds like it could be a heartbreak song. Or just in the middle. So it really could be anything. But I don't know, it sounds good. I liked it. No story, just
Nice.
yeah.
Love that. I'll need to listen to it because I don't know it.
Hope you guys liked this conversation. Hope you learned something. If you didn't, hope you didn't hate it or thought it was toxic or anything, because that would be sad. But also, like, whatever.
But also, whatever.
Sorry.
Also, like, what was I gonna say? Oh my gosh. Not to, like, apologize, but I was just like, sorry if we said anything, like, really wacky, you know? Like, we're trying to explore this interesting topic
Yeah.
as much as we can, and, like, us talking about it and sharing our ideas is not us being experts at the same time.
Yeah. No, definitely, like, even as I was talking, like, there's some things I said that I'm like, oh.
Maybe
shouldn't
I'm
have said that,
toxic.
but you know what? Oh well. I'm like, I should not be talking about this. Or, I don't know. I feel that way every episode, though. I'm like, shoot, I said something in a way that, like, is not entirely reflective of the way I'm thinking about it, or something that doesn't convey, like, my whole grasp or idea about this. But at the end of the day, this is just a conversation. Conversations only happen once the way that they happen, so. But then, this is a podcast. But yeah, so make sure to follow on Instagram at likewise_pod. And also on whatever stream platform you use, rate and review us, because that's more fun. And it just helps the pod, helps me and Sam get out there to other people. Yeah. And you can listen to an episode as soon as it comes out. Generally on Saturdays. But in May or may not be Fridays. Ha 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 ha. It definitely is.
May theme is Fridays.
Oh, yeah. You heard it here first. I mean, obviously. But Sam, this was such a good conversation. I really, really liked it. And just, yeah. Thanks again for another evening with me, with you. One of it. Yeah. I hope you have a really great rest of your day.
Thanks, Issa, and likewise to you all.
Bye.
Bye.